it's a very positive thing for me, and I think that's what Slime Beast is missing out here. That people narrating your stuff, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. And also, it helps forge this idea of a horror community as well. I feel like I'm kind of part of something bigger because other people have been narrating my stuff, and it's a really positive thing. There's been times where I felt really down about my work, about writing things and struggling with a story. Maybe I put a story out, it doesn't get as good a response initially, and then all of a sudden I see that Creepypasta Junior's narrated it, and I go on and I read the comments that people are leaving, and most of them are really positive, and that lifts me. But just the fact that someone took the time to read and narrate my stories, that lifts me up as well.
So here we are again. Oh, it's been a while, but yeah. You may have seen my video up recently about how creepypasta.com was secretly being sold, without telling any of the users that there would be a change in the ownership and all that stuff. Yeah. You wouldn't think that would be a controversial topic, just letting people know that I had found some information. But yeah, I mean, I've never had any dealings with the site owner before. Didn't know who it was until this, came up. But yeah, still somehow, Michael Whitehouse of Ghastly Tales and his, one of his supporters here still find a way to fucking link it to everything else. And still find a way to bring it into the circle jerk. Yeah. So, comment from Ghastly Tales here. Just to clarify this for everyone, the way Flippa works is the seller gets to vet the buyers before their bids are accepted. The admin isn't selling to the highest bidder. Yes, they are. It's just the highest bidder they select. She is selling to the highest bidder whose business plan and strategy for the website has been approved. Now, nothing legally holding them to that, but just, we'll just move on. Derp has been one of the most important people in the creepypasta community. Never heard their name before now, but whatever. I mean, I've heard the word derp before, but I had no idea who this was referring to until I went and looked it up. And simply believes the site would be better in someone else's hands now. Someone who can take the time to give the community everything it needs. And that's why they've listed it at auction to get several $1,000s for the site, because they wanted to pass it on to somebody who would run it better. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's why you sell a site on auction. Okay. I mean, selling it is fine, but, couldn't you fucking contact Mr. Creepypasta? Say, hey, would you like to buy this site for, like, however many $1,000, or, Chilling Tales for Dark Nights. Hey, guys, you wanna own creepypasta.com? Or, hey, administrators of the Creepypasta Wikia, do you want to get a group crowdfunding thing together and buy the site for me? No, just put it at auction. Put it at auction secretly. But yeah, it's just because... Totally just because they want it in someone else's hands. Yeah, we could do it better. Anyway, it's been such an important website for the community, not really. But the admin is passionate about creepypasta and is putting in as many checks and balances as they can to make sure it ends up in the right hands. See, here's the thing. Creepypasta.com has not been an important part of the community. The Creepypasta Wiki has, very much so. Creepypasta.com is kind of like an afterthought. So I don't know what the fuck. It's almost like Michael Whitehouse has a reason to talk up the Creepypasta Wiki and to defend its owner. What could that reason possibly be? Anyway, blah, 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 blah. This has also involved declining bids from people using the site as a referrer to a product. Okay, see, here's the thing. This is where you know that Michael Whitehouse has been, talking to the owner of creepypasta.com, who hasn't said a word herself about the sale, like on Twitter or any place on, creepypasta.com. She hasn't said a word herself to her community that she cares so much about. But, Michael Whitehouse has been sent, to talk about it, because he has information that you wouldn't have unless he had been talking to her. So, I mean, come on, dude. Can't you just let people fight their own battles? Do you have to be constantly brought in? I don't know. Anyway, just wanted to let everyone know so the site owner isn't demonized. Spelled the American way, demonized. We Americans have our own way of spelling things. We don't like anybody telling us what to do, so we just spell things all wrong ways. Spelled demonized with an S. Derp has done more for the creepypasta genre than almost anyone else I can think of. Running creepypasta.com has done more for creepypasta than all the writers put together, even all the narrators who bring it to the forefront, of media. Creepypasta.com's done more for anybody else out there, sure. Fingers crossed this all works out. And then he signs his post, Mike. And people don't usually sign comments, but, he likes to sign comments with his name. I guess because multiple people run Ghastly Tales. P.S. The fact the site has an editorial process is the reason it's the best CP site on the web, IMO. No, the fact it has an editorial process, means that it has less updates and less content and less information and it's less open to people, and it just sets up Derp, I guess, who's the admin, as like the gatekeeper for what is or isn't a good creepypasta. But, whatever, we'll just bypass that. So I replied to him a couple times. The Steve Johnstone guy, Steve Johnstone posted a reply that I'm talking about here, but then he deleted it, and he pretended he didn't delete it. And in that, he used the word, maybe this is why he deleted it, I don't know. I could be wrong. In that post, he used the word demonized, spelled with an S. He used the word meager, spelled the way that Michael Whitehouse spells it, the non-United States way, the non-American way. And he signs his post Steve at the end. Signs his post, which most people don't do, but yet Mike and Steve both sign their post at the end. Kind of weird that you use the same language and so on and so forth. And, Steve Johnstone, being a burner account or whatever. But, it's just weird. It's just weird. It's just crazy. I'm not saying there's any correlation there. It just seems odd. But anyway, I got into it with this Steve Johnstone idiot. Calls me Alex Jones. Whatever. For, I guess looking up... Here's the thing. Looking up information about what's going on in the creepypasta community and telling people what's going on is being Alex Jones.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water.
Trademark
the friggin'
creepypasta.
Do you understand that? Serious crap.
I mean, I don't know if chemicals are turning the frogs gay. I don't know if Obama is a worshiper of Belial or whatever the fuck. But I do know that creepypasta.com is being sold and that Vincent Vinicava did try to trademark creepypasta. I'm not sure how that makes me Alex Jones. But maybe it does. Maybe I'm just making it up. Maybe I invent reality. Maybe I'm such a such a fantastic writer that whatever I decide is reality is real. So anyway, Mikey Boy responds here with a final thing or a final notice or whatever the fuck. Yeah, just a big write-up of his thoughts. I don't know if it's final or not. And that's what we're going to be addressing in this video. That's the main point. So Ghastly Tales' Mike says... I don't expect you or anyone else to read all this. Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know why you would think that, because I've read everything you've posted. I've read even your posts on Reddit. That time you posted on Reddit, just out of nowhere, somebody was saying, should I let narrators do my, narrate my stories? And for no reason, out of nowhere, you replied to that Reddit post saying, don't be like Slime Beast, who hurt the community. I'm paraphrasing. Let them narrate all your stories and make money. I read all your shit, even the stuff you don't know I can say. So, come on, buddy. Give me a little more credit than that. It's a lot, lol, but I'm leaving it here as a record for anyone who follows this disagreement. Alright, and I'll signal boost your post by making a video about it. I haven't read all this yet. I'm actually going to be reading it on the fly as I record this. So, let's go into this just, signal boosting your message. I'm going to spread your comment here to even more people than you thought it would reach, and I hope that that's what you would want, because you want people to see this if they have seen the disagreements. I think the problem is, Christopher, nice sign of disrespect by not using my username and using my real name. Good way to start out. Great way to start out with fake familiarity. Anyway, I think the problem is, Christopher, that you have a narrative and you're going to stick to it no matter what, even if the evidence points you in the other direction. Okay. So, creepypasta.com is not being sold? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that the owner did notify people they were selling it? Are you saying that Vincent Vinicava didn't try to trademark creepypasta? I mean, you're saying all evidence points in the opposite direction of my fake narrative, so I'm wondering what exactly you think is fake. Anyway, we'll get into that right here. You didn't research to find out how Flippa works. I actually know how Flippa works, and I have been a domain flipper for many years. I at one point had about 200 domain names registered to me that I, would flip on various sites. And just because I didn't put in a caveat in my post saying, by the way, the seller can accept or deny buyers, just because I didn't say Flippa lets you deny a bid, which any site will let you do. Any auction site lets you deny bids and cancel transactions and bids. So I don't know what the fuck you think. Just because I didn't put that caveat in there, you're going to say I didn't research how Flippa works. Buddy, I knew what Flippa was before you did. I mean, you probably didn't know before this situation. I don't know. Maybe you did. Who knows? I'm just guessing. You didn't ask the admin what their motivation was for selling. I don't care what their motivation is for selling. I was telling people that the site was being sold and to copy any information they might have on there that might go away if the buyer doesn't, keep the site up. And even if they say they will, the buyer may not keep it up. It may be a year from now, and the buyer may forget to renew it, and everything will go down. Any number of things are possible. So me telling people to save their information if it's on creepypasta.com, that's a sin to you, apparently. Apparently that's a sin. Anyway. I don't care what her motivation is. As I said, I couldn't care less what her motivation is for selling. I was just letting people know that it was being sold, and that there was a chance, and there is a chance, that the site will be changed, or things will go away, etc. and so forth. Even if by accident, buddy. You charged in and jumped straight to an unsupported conclusion, presenting it as fact. What would that be, buddy? What would that be, Mikey? I charged in and put an unsupported conclusion as fact. So I said it was being sold. I said the highest bidder could or would likely be someone who's going to ad park it. Even if they agree to. Even if they agree to keep it up, they might do that. If they, lapse in renewing it, it'll be bought by an ad parker. If the person who buys the website and says that they're going to keep it up as it is, gets a bigger offer, they could still decide to sell it to an ad parker. They might just not keep their word. I'm not in my video. Let me just cough for a second here. I'm choking on your bullshit, Mike. Choking to death on your bullshit. You should be happy. I'll be dead soon. In my video, I did not say it was a fucking fact. Anyone can look back at that video and say, see that I'm saying, this is likely going to be this. This is probably what's going to happen. And I even say in the video, hey, maybe I'm wrong or whatever. But, you're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar, Michael Whitehouse. And at this point, I'm tired of your stuff. I was giving you a lot of benefits of the doubt, like, you're just kind of misguided. You're, part of the Kool-Aid drinking club, whatever. You believe everything you say, but, you're just a fucking liar. Because you're saying that I come out saying, something as a fact. You don't even clarify what the fact is, by the way, in your post here. You just say, you said something was a fact. And I didn't say something was a fact in my fucking video. Anyway, a fact that others will now spread because they trust your opinion. What? Okay, I mean, you're kind of like getting into this crazy paranoid bullshit, but whatever. I think you should have been more measured instead of automatically thinking the worst of people. What did I... Thinking the worst of people? Did I miss the part of my own video where I said, the owner of creepypasta.com is selling the website for a bunch of money so they could buy drugs and hookers and have a foreign leader assassinated? Where did I think the worst of somebody? I said that they listed it at auction to the highest bidder, which is true. If you decline bids, that's part of any auction site. Are you going to say that nothing is up for the highest bidder because people can decline bids? I don't understand what you're arguing semantics here, and it's in a very dishonest way. I think you should have been more measured instead of automatically thinking the worst of people. Didn't. You make some legitimate points in your videos. Well, thank you. Thank you for admitting that I make some legitimate points. I could say the same about you, too. You make some legitimate points, but then you lie. But it's all muddied by huge leaps of logic and assumptions. No, I say it's likely to be, someone who's going to ad park the site. If I say it's going to be someone who is going to ad park the site, I make sure to say either before or after, that maybe I'm wrong, maybe it'll be someone, that fucking loves the site or whatever. But, you're crazy. You're crazy. It's the death of the site either way because, any little issue here or there and the site's going to be gone. If the buyer doesn't keep up their end of the bargain, which they're under no legal obligation to, then it's gone. If the buyer accidentally doesn't renew it, then it's gone. If the buyer sells the domain, which is perfectly within their right, to another buyer, then it's gone. If the... how much more do I have to say? How much more do I have to say that I'm concerned that people should save their material if they don't have it archived elsewhere, because the site might go away someday? Or it might go away right after the auction. It might be an ad parking site. And by the way, an interesting side note, this is exactly what happened when Mr. Creepypasta and his group shut down creepypastanetwork.com. I heard from multiple people saying that they had stories on creepypastanetwork.com that they lost and didn't have a copy of because the site shut down without proper notice. So, there's established issues with this happening to people. You're going to come down on me for trying to help people save their work? Because you want to score brownie points with your fucking cult? Alright, whatever. And, I'm not using cult literally. I don't think that they go around in robes and, put on crazy Mardi Gras masks and fuck each other. Maybe they do. Who knows? For example, quote, pretends those people are fucking angels just because they help him get money. Now, this is something I said to Michael Whitehouse. I said that he pretends that his, people he associates with are angels because they help him get money. He's constantly referencing, when we have these discussions, the fact that you get money because narrators, help you get more exposure and you can sell books and blah, blah, blah. So that part is true. Pretends they're fucking angels. I haven't seen Michael Whitehouse say a bad thing about any of the people that he supports, or even question them. So he's pretending they're fucking angels. Maybe I missed it somewhere. So yeah, Mike, you do pretend they're angels because they help you get money. Anyway, let's move on here. You don't know the first thing about me, yet you're quite happy to throw accusations into the air like, Donald, this is what I'm hearing, Trump. Oh, you brought Trump into it. Is that the new version of Godwin's Law? Bringing Trump into it like a complete and utter douchebag who can't make a valid point. Mikey boy. Alright, anyway, I don't know the first thing about you. I'm reacting to what you present to me. You present yourself to me when you comment things, when you say things, when you post opinions, when you talk about me behind my back on other sites. That is what you are presenting to me. When you don't say a negative thing and don't have a qualm with any of the people you're protecting or white knighting or whatever, and you keep talking about the fact that they help you get money and notoriety, that's what you're presenting to me. So to say I don't know the first thing about you, buddy, I'm just basing it on who you are. I'm just basing my assumptions on who you are. And, maybe deep down secretly you're someone else. But, what am I, psychic? Am I psychic, buddy? Anyway. It's just like that video you made about me where you suggested that someone had put me up to commenting. Well, it's proven in this comment because you had information from the Creepypasta Wiki owner about what she was doing and who she would sell to. So, it's proven that you were put up to fucking commenting here. You stoop. You're a big dum-dum. Or I was racist because someone else on an old channel of mine referred to an aggressive person as a monkey and ape. Alright, let's address this sentence right here because you've told a couple lies here You've lied through omission, and you've outright lied. Suggesting that Michael Whitehouse is racist. No, that's incorrect. You absolute liar. What I said was that you had no place to tell me what I should or shouldn't say on the internet when you had a podcast up, calling somebody a monkey and an ape. I'm basically saying, what are you, the tone police? When you've got videos up that are much, more inflammatory than anything I've ever said? That's what I'm saying. At no point did I call you racist. At no point did I imply you were racist. I just said you have bad judgment, which you do, obviously. And, yeah, so that's a lie right there. And the lie from omission referred to an aggressive person as a monkey and ape. Kind of leaving out the fact that he was black. Kind of omitting the fact that you were in a conversation where you guys were talking about calling a black person a monkey and an ape, and making ooh 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 sounds at him. And talking about his fat girlfriend. Kind of leaving that part out, buddy. Kind of making a little omission there. But we're not going to look into that, because as I said, I'm not calling you racist, I'm just saying you have bad judgment. And you don't have the right to tell anybody, what their judgment should be. And I think that's more than proven with this sentence right here. Anyway, and when they weren't even talking about the person's race. Yeah, you're not talking about the person's race other than the fact you were going ooh, 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 talking about calling him a monkey. And I'm not talking about you personally. I'm using you as in you guys. You just dived in and grabbed something you thought would show me in a bad light because that makes you look right, and that's all you seem to care about. Project much? You project much, Mikey? The thing is, I made, and I'll say it again, the point in that video was that you were telling me what tone I should have, how I should behave on YouTube, how I should behave on the internet. So I brought in a clip and I said, is this really someone that, should be telling me how to behave? Somebody who's making a podcast where they're talking about a black dude, saying ooh, 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 monkey. And, yeah, that was your buddy. That was your buddy that you were laughing at saying that. Wasn't you saying it, but I mean, you proudly put it up as your podcast. Your judgment is flawed. So that's the point. And I think you know that. I think you know that's the point, because I said in the video very clearly, in the video I said, say whatever you want, think whatever you want, do whatever you want, but, don't tell someone else what to do if you're going to put up something like that, because that's just silly. Here's the difference between you and me, Mr. Whitehouse. You're all about projection. All you do is project. I see somebody's registering the trademark for creepypasta. I tell people the fact that someone's registering it. It's a fucking fact. I see that creepypasta.com is being sold without telling anybody. And I, tell people the fact. The fucking fact. I may, speculate a bit. Careful to make sure I say at some point that I'm speculating, or that it might be this or it might be that. The difference between you and me is I come out of the woodwork when I find something interesting that, people may need to know or may want to know. And boy howdy, did the community want to know that the trademark for creepypasta was being registered. Boy howdy did people want to know that. Boy howdy did people register complaints with the trademark office to have it removed. So it seems like people did want to know that. Difference, as I keep, I keep sort of dancing around this, difference between you and me, all you're doing is running defense for people who can speak for themselves, while I'm just out here telling people what's going on with shit. I don't care about making you, be in a bad light. I don't care about making myself look right. I'm just addressing the fucking facts. When you say that I put a clip in a video to make you look racist, and then I can easily direct anyone back to my old video, where I say, the reason I'm doing this is not because, you can't say whatever you want or think whatever you want. It's because, you really have no right to tell me that I'm speaking out of turn when you obviously have no concept of what you're putting on the internet and how it sounds. You know, when I can direct people back to that, it shows that I'm speaking fact. That I'm saying something that's absolutely unequivocally true. And you're lying. That's the difference between you and I guess. At the core of it all is that you're a liar. And this video may seem venomous, but, you know, really, to anybody listening to this who's concerned about that, Michael Whitehouse has been just fucking, you know, going around to other sites and saying, you know, don't be like Slime Beast, he hurt the community. When I'm trying to just tell people, you know, what's going on, and I'm trying to look out for myself and look out for other people who can't speak for themselves, usually. You know, I'm trying to look out for the, you know, people who didn't know Creepypasta was being trademarked. Who didn't know that Creepypasta.com was being sold. And would have no way to say anything about it because they didn't fucking know. People who can't, you know, can't talk about it. And even if they could, you know, mostly people who don't even have a fucking YouTube channel, don't even have a fucking Twitter account with, you know, many followers. People who are very interested in finding out this information and getting the word out about it, but wouldn't be able to. I'm trying to be a voice for them. Whether I'm succeeding or failing is a different thing altogether, but that's my motivation. My motivation is altruistic to the fucking core. Laugh all you want, but as I said, maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I'm failing. Maybe I'm shitty at it. But that's what my motivation is. That's why I'm trying to do this. You come in, Michael Whitehouse, and you talk for people with very large audiences who refuse to speak for themselves. In most cases, I think Vincent Vinicava made one video he later deleted, so that technically is speaking for himself. And you decide to be a mouthpiece for these large and in-charge folks who are doing shady, covert shit that I'm trying to expose. Which one of us is trying to make the other look like they're in a bad light? Which one of us wants to be right desperately? Because if I tell you the sky is blue, it's not a matter of wanting to be right. That is just being right. If I tell you that, well, it's not really blue. It's all fucking science shit. Yeah, you get the idea. That's a bad example. But the thing is, if I tell you Creepypasta is being trademarked, it's a fucking fact, buddy. It's not about being right. That is being right. I don't need to try to be right if I just keep to the fucking facts of what's going on. I think it was Judge Judy who said you don't have to have a good memory if you're not lying or whatever the fuck. You know, I don't have to try to look right if I make sure I'm right. Anyway, back to this bullshit. You have no evidence for any of this, yet you put out slanderous nonsense all the time, really. All the time. And really, why would someone put anyone up to commenting on your videos, as you've suggested in the past? Alright, no evidence for any of this. I think pretty much everybody watching knows how much of a joke that is right now. There's no evidence for anything you say. There's no evidence of trademarks registered, no evidence of websites being sold, no evidence of you lying about, you know, certain things when I can just direct people back to what you're lying about. You know, no evidence for any of that, sure. Trying to make yourself look right, buddy? Is that what's going on? But yeah, why would someone put you up to commenting on videos? In this comment thread, we'll say it one more time. In this comment thread, you refer to the owner of Creepypasta.com by name. You call them Derp. I didn't even know that was their fucking username until you said that. Then, you say, you know, that she's turning down offers that don't fit what she wants, which I hadn't seen anywhere until you said it. Meaning that you had spoken with her. Now, I'm not saying that she specifically said to you, can you go comment on this video for me? I'm saying that that's what you're doing, though. You're commenting on videos for these people. Obviously. And they're people you know, people you work with, people who make you money. And by all means, make money By all means, make contacts. But be honest about it. Don't misrepresent yourself as some unbiased authority or, objective moral police of this issue. Because you're fucking highly involved. It's just, okay, let's just move on. Let's move on, because I could go off on this forever. No offense, but you don't have the audience to seriously hurt the bigger narrators and writers. Wow! Oh, it's obvious what's important to Mr. Whitehouse here. You don't have the audience to seriously hurt the bigger narrators or writers. Who said I did, buddy? This is fucking funny. Oh my god. I don't have the biggest audience, no, but the people that I do have, I'd like to tell them stuff that I find out. Is that okay with you? Or do I have to have a bigger audience to be anything of note? God, what a shill. That's why they don't bother responding to you most of the time. No, they don't bother responding because they have nothing to say, and that, I'm basically exposing something that they're doing behind the scenes. God damn. I mean, before I started YouTube, I was in the big discussion with Mr. Creepypasta about him monetizing readings of my story. So your point doesn't hold up anyway. Liar. And by the way, I consider myself one of the lesser-known writers alongside you. God, please move away. Please don't stand alongside me. I can't, I don't want all of that cheese rubbing off. With a similar audience size on YouTube and elsewhere. Okay, sure. Whatever, buddy. I don't, why did this become about... Can anybody answer why this became about audience size all of a sudden? I don't know. How did this topic get steered into who's got a big audience and who doesn't? And Jesus Christ, you're obsessed with narrators giving you exposure to help sell your books and size on YouTube and audience size, and I don't know what the fuck. I mean, to the point where you're bringing it up in a, big, long rant where it had no place being. Anyway, so I'm not trying to belittle you by saying that. Who cares? It's just that we're small fry compared to people with hundreds of thousands of followers. So why would any of them get into a conspiracy against you or the community? What the fuck are you talking about, conspiracy against me or the community? Conspiracy? Against you or the community? Did you not see... Okay. Michael, Whitehouse, listen, please. Actually listen to this. I know you probably, like you said at the beginning of this comment, I know you're probably not going to listen to all this, but, just listen to this above all else, if nothing else makes an impact on you. Old Man Murphy of Well Hay Productions made a video publicly saying that I tried to trademark creepypasta. Saying that I was a faggot. That's his exact words. Saying I was like Donald Trump, which ironically you also do. I know that's not the definition of irony, but you get the idea. And, you constantly show up with this bullshit. So, I mean, somebody somewhere behind the scenes is talking about me. I mean, Old Man Murphy didn't stumble upon my videos on his own while Googling my name, randomly. Obviously he didn't, because he had all the wrong ideas about what happened. Somebody obviously told him a bunch of bullshit about what had happened. I've gotten emails from people who used to be involved with certain folks within, the greater creepypasta community who have backed up everything I've said. These are people that know the people you're talking about. And they've said, yeah, behind the scenes, Mr. Creepypasta says X, Y, and Z about you. So, you're trying to make me out to be like a paranoid lunatic who thinks there's a tinfoil hat conspiracy against me. All I'm saying is that I make videos saying stuff that they don't like, and they don't like me. I don't like you, Michael Whitehouse. I think you're a shill. I think you're pathetic. Am I in a conspiracy against you because I don't like you and I talk bad about you? Because I'll tell you what, I have talked bad about you to other people behind your back. I don't try to steer their idea of you. But I have said stuff like, well, Michael Whitehouse commenting on this shit again. Is that a conspiracy against you, buddy? Or is that just people being people? Have I said that, the people I don't like have no right to talk about me with themselves? No. I think they shouldn't lie about me, as somebody obviously lied to Old Man Murphy. And obviously lied to the people who have contacted me by email saying, I had the completely wrong idea about you, Slime Beast, because they told me X, Y, and Z. I looked into it, and you're right. But whatever. Let's move past this conspiracy bullshit. You're trying to undermine the point by, making these accusations, and you're pathetic. They don't need to. I'll believe it when I see some evidence. The evidence is Old Man Murphy's video. You can find that on YouTube. I assume you've already seen it, though, probably. But until then, it's all complete conjecture on your part. It's not conjecture, buddy. You know shit that you shouldn't know if you hadn't talked to the Creepypasta.com owner about their auction before posting here. It's not some complete conjecture that you fucking know each other. God damn. You paint this false narrative that I'm involved in some sort of conspiracy against you. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize when I finished that paragraph that the next paragraph was going to be the same fucking thing again to drive home this undermining bullshit. I don't like you. You don't like me. People you know don't like me. People I know don't like you. That's not a conspiracy. That's basically like cliquish behavior. Although I try to avoid, on my side, I try to avoid telling anybody what they can or can't do, can and can't think. I don't even necessarily want people to believe me. Just look it up yourselves. I mean, I've told people that I know who are actively avoiding people like you and people that you know. I've said to them, you don't have to avoid them on my account. I would not give a shit. I would not care at all if you work with them, if you do things with them, if you talk to them, if you're friends with them. But they still look at what's going on and they say, no, I don't want my fingerprints on that. Conspiracy. Give me a break. All right, we're going to drop this conspiracy thing. I'm not going to answer it again if it comes up. But as I show it on Reddit, I hardly know most of the people you think are in this creepypasta circle jerk, as you like to call it. Sure. If I thought that MCP, because I am constantly... I guess he's probably changing the definition of the word know. Like, he doesn't know these people. He doesn't know MCP. He just consistently has MCP... reading his work and publishing him in books and, commenting on his work, etc. and so forth. But he doesn't know him. I mean, they haven't slept together. So that, that means he doesn't know him. We're talking about the carnal definition of knowing someone. All right. If I thought that MCP or Vincent Vinicava were doing something underhanded to the community, I would be the first to say, fucking liar. Fucking liar. Trademarking the word creepypasta secretly, without telling anybody, is underhanded. MCP cropping out the names of webcomic artists while narrating their webcomics and cutting out their signature, cutting out their URL is underhanded. MCP not asking permission before reading people's work, which he still gets, I forget, that probably was like a couple months ago that I saw, still gets DMCA's about, is underhanded. MCP, here's another thing I don't think I've ever brought up. MCP saying that he would take $1,000 to promote somebody's Kickstarter project and then never doing it. He didn't get paid, but he still didn't do it. Underhanded. Hurt somebody in the community, one person. I could go on, buddy. This is why I was so looking forward to our Skype call that you wussed out of. And let's make no mistake, you wussed out of it because you were like, maybe next month, maybe next month. Actually, it was maybe next week, then maybe next month. But yeah, this is why I was looking forward to our Skype conversation, because I was just gonna roll with all the shit that's been going on and see what you had to say about it. What do you think about MCP saying that he would help somebody promote their Kickstarter project, waiting till the guy got it all set up and then never doing it? And then you'd be like, well, oh, me boyo, I don't know. Faith and Bigora, MCP did nothing wrong. I don't know. I would be the first to say, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but because I don't feel that way and disagree with you, I must be somehow in league with the devil. Don't think I ever called anybody the devil. I think that you're friends with people who are assholes, and that it benefits you to defend them and to be with them. Bit of a straw man. As I've said before, I thought you would have gone for the no true Scotsman fallacy, but you're going for straw man. You could be right, not the devil thing, honest, but I see enough to not jump to that conclusion. Whatever. Anyone who criticizes you can't possibly have a valid point. They must be the enemy. Proof of this claim? Are you just going by the fact that you are dishonest and I'm treating you as a dishonest person, so therefore you extract that anybody who disagrees with me must be the enemy? Because I'll tell you what, unlike your circle jerk that you are a part of, inescapable. The only thing you and I disagree with is, I guess, maybe what a circle jerk is, because you're definitely part of it in what I, think of as a circle jerk, a group of people who jerk each other off. You probably think it has to be a mammon-worshipping cult that sacrifices virgins or something, and you're like, I'm not to that level, so I'm not a part of it. But, I'll tell you something. Unlike your group of people, the people I actively work with, we disagree not only privately, we disagree publicly. We debate shit. I don't remember the Mr. Creepypasta versus Creeps McPasta debate. I think that I've had disagreements with multiple people where we just have squashed the beef afterward, not even agreeing with each other, just squashing the beef. But yet, because I don't like you, you extract that I treat everybody like I treat you. Okay. I mean, why be honest now? Hence why you're saying this other commentator must know me. Commentator. Okay, whatever. The guy who wrote the previous comment must know me or must be from the same place I'm from. Comes across as extremely paranoid. I asked if he was. This guy, Steve Johnstone, with the burner account, typing the same way Mike does, and signing his post the same way Mike does. I asked if he knew you. I asked if he was from across the pond, which is where you are. I didn't say he was. I asked a question. This is the problem with people like you. You treat asking the question as an accusation. You treat finding and exposing information as an attack because you're part of a little circle jerk, and I'm going to keep saying it as many times as I can because it bothers you, and you behave, and I'm not saying this is the case, but you behave like you're in some secretive cabal. You behave like a fucking Scientologist. That the minute somebody says anything about what you believe or what you think or the people you associate with, you have to leap forward and claim it's an attack, that somebody's trying to get information out. That someone's ignorant and lying and trying to paint you in a false light. That's the problem here. Anyway, it comes across as extremely paranoid. Yeah, it's paranoid to ask if somebody knows you because they're on a burner account and they type exactly like you. Anyway, incidentally, as I've said to you before, and by the way, I should say, the person I thought might be someone you knew or might be someone who was a fan of yours or whatever the case, only person who commented in that thread beside you. 2 people commented in that thread that typed alike. So you could forgive me for asking. Incidentally, as I've said to you before, I've given a fair few of my stories to MCP for his anthologies. I don't care. I wrote one story for a promotion on his channel years ago. Nobody cares. That's about it when it comes to me benefiting financially from them. Whatever. You've said previously in the past that people narrating your work is a good thing and everybody should do it. You know, you get exposure and you get to make sales and you make readers. So whatever. The majority of the money I've made as a writer came well before that through self-publishing, and I still have to supplement that by working freelance. So wait a minute. This is an interesting sentence. The majority of money you made came before you met SCP, I almost called him. I'll start over. The majority of money you made came from before you met MCP. Yet, you say that having people narrate your work brings you exposure, brings you readers, and brings you success. And I'm not saying it, I'm not saying that you said it'll make you a millionaire. But you have said, that you benefit from it. So you said people will benefit from it, but you yourself Have not benefited from it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't know why I would ever think that you were just talking up Mr. Creepypasta. Why would I ever get that idea? In fact, that's my bread and butter. I've never spoken to MCP bar a few emails and tweets, and I've spoken to Vincent once on Skype along with a few emails and tweets. Nobody cares. You're part of the circle jerk with them, buddy. I've talked to Nick Nocturne of Nightmind basically maybe twice, I think. And yet I'm part of the Welcome Committee with him, which is a group of people who produce YouTube content. We're like a loose association. We're not really, we're kind of like the way like a group of neighborhood kids, form like a little clubhouse or something. But, I would say that I'm associated with Nick Nocturne through that Skype group that we had, and through talking to him a few times and recording with him. But yet, you're saying, I work with these people, and I've worked with them a few times, but I'm not associated. Okay. MCP has narrated something like 4 of my stories in the 5 years I've been writing online. They always seem like nice people to me, and all I ever see from them publicly is that they they promote and support smaller narrators and writers. Why would I care what you see from them publicly? My God, this just goes skin deep with you, doesn't it? That's where it stops. But we're hardly in bed together financially, and if I never wrote another story, it wouldn't make any difference to their channels. Okay. This is unrelated information, but fine. If I thought they were doing something terrible to the community, I'd have spoken out against it. You already said this. I addressed it before. I make my own way, and while I've been very lucky to work with a few talented people who have helped me a great deal, none of whom you know. Okay, you have a girlfriend in Canada too. It's just an easy joke to make. It's an easy joke to make. No, you don't. You wouldn't know them. I would never sacrifice my own integrity for any amount of money. If it came to that, I'd just go and find another career. Okay, so when you say that you understand people protecting their rights to their stories, but people should still let narrators read the stories and make money on them because it gives you exposure and might help you sell books, whatever. You don't see that as sacrificing integrity for money. I do. That's a difference of opinion. Whatever. Came to that, I'd go and find another career. My close friends in the community are all people who live near me who I work on Ghastly Tales with. Okay, why is this important? With the exception of my friend Mick in the Netherlands. Whatever. We chat every day and have great fun making horror together. Good. Am I reading a creepypasta right now? I know some brilliant people in the community beyond, but in truth, I only know them to tweet occasionally or chat to in DM or email here and there. I only know a few people, but all I do is chat with them in DM or tweet at them or email them. Okay, well, I'm not saying you make out with them. I'm not saying you swap spit with them. Talking to people over email or DM or Skype or tweets, that's knowing them. It's like, what do you think I believe, that you're roommates with them? You seem to think that as long as it's not up to a certain level of knowledge of each other, that it's not really knowing somebody or being involved with them. Anyway, I got a cough now. This is why I got a soda. You probably didn't even notice the break in recording because I'm such an expert editor. Ah, that is some good soda. Who knows, maybe some of them would be close friends if I Skyped people regularly and spent time hanging out with them, but up until this point I haven't done that. Whatever. I haven't bothered responding to you for some time because it feels like a massive waste of time for you and me. I can think of multiple times you responded to me. Whatever. And it is a waste of time. For me, you seem to have a goal. I do not. I just, basically like to... I like to make videos where I'm like, here's what's happening, everybody. Let people look at it. Again, just, giving the fact of, here's a comment that exists in reality. Objective fact. This comment exists. Anyway, the only reason I did here was because you didn't just ask the admin before you made the video. I tweeted the administrator. I tweeted at the owner of creepypasta.com before I made the video. Again, Michael Whitehouse, you're a liar. And I think it's probably just because you didn't look into what you're saying. You thought that you could just say something and it would be true by virtue of the fact you said it. Now, the site itself, creepypasta.com, is on a 7-day auction. 1 week. So there's not much time. I'm not going to say, okay, if I forget if I said that was a lie, but I'm gonna retract that if I said that. It's not a lie, it's just that you feel as if anything you say will be true. But yeah. You leap to a conclusion that she is selling off the site to the highest bidder without any care or consideration, without hearing the other side of the story. No, they are selling it to the highest bidder, it's just that they can cancel bids if they so choose. You know, if they're not going to respond to me, and are, you know, I can see that they've, you know, been active on the site I'm trying to contact them, but they still were active and didn't respond, then I can't exactly get their side of the story, can I, Michael? Jesus Christ. You feel like you're going down the rabbit hole with these people, and that's why I consider this part of a big circle jerk, in addition to everything else, is that all of you act the same. All of you are just like, you're like talking to quicksand, and the point just sinks deeper and deeper under all the muck of just gibberish. Anyway, I felt that was unfair. Call it white knighting if you want, that's what it is. It doesn't make me any less right. What makes you less right is the fact you're wrong. Of course, the person who buys the site could end up being unscrupulous, but that, again, doesn't mean that the original admin is. I never said the original admin was unscrupulous. Michael Whitehouse, can you please stop creating straw men? At some point, we're going to reach critical mass of straw men. It's just going to be straw men as far as the eye can see. There won't be any crows anywhere. Crows will die out as a species. You're just going to look left, you're going to look right, you're going to see fucking straw men sidling up to you. You're going to, wake up one morning, your wife's going to be replaced with a straw man. You're creating just too many of them. Too many. I never said the owner of creepypasta.com was unscrupulous. I did say that they're secretly selling the site at auction without telling their users, which is unequivocally true. Anyway, it just means the wool was pulled over their eyes too. Whatever. There's no point in engaging with you most of the time. Yeah, there's no point in you doing it. It's just, there's just no point in either of us talking to each other. We're on different levels, and I'm not saying I'm on a higher level. I'm just saying different levels, different realities, different dimensions. You're stuck in the reality where anything you think is true. I'm stuck in the reality where I have to keep pointing out the fact that what you're saying is provably false, and it's just like we're going around in circles. Anyway. You have done the community a service by challenging the idea that writers don't own their work. Why, thank you. Because, in your previous video you were saying I, was not seeing the big picture and I was wrong for doing that. You've also written some very good meta-horror fiction. I really wonder if Michael Whitehouse has even read any of it at this point. And it's not like he has to, but the thing is, he says stuff so willy-nilly that isn't true, that he's like, your work is very good. Wouldn't it be funny if he read my work and he was like, whoa, wait a minute, this is shite. Oh shit, I said it was good. This is complete and utter drivel. Anyway. In fact, I'd argue some of the best, blah, 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 but a substantial amount of your talent seems to be dedicated toward being some sort of Keemstar of the creepypasta community. Oh, that's interesting, because your buddy Steve called me the Alex Jones of the community. You're going to call me the Keemstar of the community. But yeah, you guys are so totally different. You're totally different people. Totally not in any way related at all. No. But yeah, Keemstar of the creepypasta community. For telling people that creepypasta was trademarked. For telling people that creepypasta.com is being sold. For telling people that Mr. Creepypasta does X, Y, and Z repeatedly over the years. That makes me the Keemstar of the creepypasta community. You fucking idiot, Michael Whitehouse. Here's the thing. I actually haven't read any of Michael Whitehouse's work. And otherwise, I probably would be saying, you're a great writer and all, but you're fucking stupid. Always salty, defensive, and painting anyone who disagrees with you as a hack or fraud. Who have I painted as a hack? I mean, yeah, it's just you just say whatever you want, whether it be me or Max Landis. I never painted. Okay, Michael Whitehouse, you're a liar. You are an absolute liar. But I have never painted you as a hack or a fraud. I just said before I read this that I haven't read your work. So how would I have painted you as a hack? And where was this? Do you have any proof of this? Do you have anything you can show or recite? Can you even just give an idea of a time when I called you a hack? When did I call you a fraud? When did I claim you defrauded people? When did I claim that you were a fraud as a person? I mean, you lie. And that's provably true. Just in this video alone, you've been proven a liar. Someone who just, says whatever he wants because it sounds good and, just hopes people believe it's true. Max Landis. You like to... Are you white knighting him now, buddy? You white knighting Max Landis? You going to be his little toady, too? Is that what's going on? When did I call Max Landis a hack? When did I call Max Landis a fraud? Again, like you, Max Landis lied about something. Provably. Because he went on Twitter and said that I said something I didn't. And I have the emails, to show that I didn't say that. So you and Max Landis, both liars, never called you hacks or frauds. Now, when I read your work, Mr. Whitehouse, if I ever actually do, maybe at that point I will say, my God, this man is a hack. But, you probably could say the same about me. It's your subs I feel sorriest for. Aw, poor subs. Poor little baby subs that need you looking out for them. They trust you and trust that you are telling the truth because you mix hearsay and assumption with well-thought-out points. Here's the difference between what you're saying and what the reality is. If I say I think something that isn't, necessarily proven, like if I'm assuming something, or I'm, thinking of what might happen in the future, I say, I think this will happen. Or even if I say this is what's going to happen, I'll, slow my roll, dial it back a bit and say, I could be wrong. But it seems like this. So, again, a lie. I don't know what to do with you, Michael. I don't know what to do with you. I'm probably going to end up blocking you just because you need to do something better with your time than just, I mean, write fiction for a purpose. Don't write fiction just to, try to undermine somebody. So they accept the rest and assume you are exposing fraud, hacks, and deceivers. I never called anybody a fraud, and I never called anyone a hack, but you are a deceiver, and that's been proven multiple times in this video. But in reality, you're often just slandering people. Okay. Why don't you, I tell you what, Mike. Why don't you get up with Vincent Vinicava's lawyers, who sent me that, bullshit scare tactic notice. Why don't you get together with them and put together a case for slander, Mike? Since you say there's slander going on. You know that's illegal, right? Why don't you make a case out of it? I mean, it's a huge problem. It's a huge problem, this slander. Why don't you get everybody together for a class action lawsuit? The people versus Slime Beast. No? Oh. You don't have the time to do that. Oh, okay. You don't have the time to do it. Okay. I'm sure it's not because it doesn't fucking exist. I really wish you and some others would step back and listen to all sides of a story before making your minds up. What the fuck, dude? Look who's talking. The sad part about this is, actually, I take that back, you have heard my side of things, but your mind was still made up that you're just going to knob-slob, your idols. That you have said in previous videos that you're big fans of, and, et cetera and so forth. Anyway, let's finish this shit out. You said I'm white knighting, but in reality all I'm doing is presenting the other side of the argument. Because, okay, you're speaking for people who have their own voice. You're coming to their defense when no one asked you to. Unless someone did ask you to. But, you know, whatever. And that's white knighting in my opinion. So, whatever. Because in your own way, you've created your own circle jerk, as you put it. Wrong! Anybody here in my videos, in my comments, in my channel, is free to go look up anything I've said. Is free to research it. You can find links in the descriptions of my videos to things like the trademark, you know, thing. You could find links to my entire conversation with Mr. Creepypasta. Because I don't expect people to just trust whatever I say. I actively tell people, don't just trust me. Look it up yourself. Do I do that every day, 24/7 in everything I do? No, but it's a constant thing that I say to people. You know, if you don't believe me, you know, go look it up. Don't just take what I say for granted. Don't take something anybody says for granted. Go and educate yourself and learn about it yourself. Figure it out. Don't believe me. The reason you see what I do as part of a circle jerk is because you are so deeply ingrained in circle jerk mentality that everything around you looks like a bukkake firing squad. All this is projection, Michael. And you and I could squash our beef. And I love that term, so I'm going to keep using it. You and I could put this aside. You don't have to change your opinions. You don't have to do anything other than stop with this constant bullshit storm. Because nothing's going to be put to rest while you're playing keyboard warrior and sitting there saying, this is, you know, I'm going to tell Slimebeast this time. And then you just make up a bunch of shit, or you go off half-cocked, or you talk about things you don't understand or don't know. You make assumptions. You say, I'm not part of a circle jerk. I haven't, you know, sat down and had dinner with any of these people. You know, like, you know, that's got to stop. But if that were to stop, I'd have no fucking problem with you. I don't give a shit. Anyway, as you put it, where nothing is challenged and everyone just takes what you say as gospel. Yeah, bullshit. It's not. Sometimes you're right, but sometimes you're wrong. Okay, so that's Mike's post here. Signed Mike, just like Steve signs his post Steve. Yeah. So all of that, I want to reiterate, all of that because I made a video saying that creepypasta.com was being sold and that people out there should be warned to copy anything off the site that may not be archived elsewhere. And I said that, in my opinion, it probably was going to be sold to somebody who was going to ad park the site, and that this would be the death of the site. But apparently, you're not allowed to do that while Michael Whitehouse is on patrol. Michael Whitehouse! I see his signal up in the sky. Why, it looks like a potato. That's weird. That's weird. Okay, anyway, my name is Slimebeast. Don't take everything I say seriously. Sometimes I will go for a joke because I feel like it. Don't take everything I say as gospel. I've said this before in the past, but Mr. Whitehouse, apparently, I haven't said it enough for his liking. You know, he's the decider of what I should say. So I will note that don't just believe what I've said. Look at the comments in this video. Read the comment chain yourself. See what Michael Whitehouse has said. Maybe I'm making up what he said. Maybe I've photoshopped this website on the fly. So, you know, don't just believe me. Go take a look. Go take a look at the previous videos I've mentioned. Go take a look at my conversation with Mr. Creepypasta. Go take a look at anything I've referenced for yourself. Because, unlike Mr. Whitehouse, I don't make claims that are completely unsupported and expect you to buy it. Like saying that someone's paranoid about a conspiracy when I just say that he's in like a circle jerk of knuckleheads. Oh, God. Anyway, how do I end this video? How do you end a video like that? Don't forget to spay and neuter your narrators. I don't know.